today on the Frontline Health Podcast.
So if you can get everything you need from eating those whole foods of fruits and vegetables, then that's the way you want to go. But as we've already stated, our lives are so busy, it's not always feasible to do that. We may be on vacation, we may be at tournaments on the weekends with our kids. That's when supplements really come in and play a part. So you're not missing out on the needed nutrients and minerals and everything else that we get from eating those fruits and vegetables.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Frontline Health Podcast by Centurion. I'm Evan Patrick, and with me is founder and CEO of Centurion, Troy Dull.
Good to see you, Evan. Excited to be here today.
Let's do it. All right, so today we're going to be talking about another very popular health topic today, especially in the supplement world, the supplementation of fruits and veggies and just those foods that we know we should be eating a lot of, but very few of us actually get as much of those ingredients, as much of those foods in our diets as we need to.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting topic because we live busy lives and we know we're not getting enough fruits and vegetables in our diets, and especially our kids, as they're growing up, it's hard to get them what they need. And sometimes they just don't even like the taste of them, so they can be kind of picky.
So do we know how many adults in the United States actually get the amount of fruits and vegetables in their diet that's recommended?
That is a great question, and the CDC actually did a study, and in 2019, they found that only 12.3% of adults get the recommended amount of fruits, and only 10% of adults get the recommended amount of vegetables in their diet. So we are way off on where we need to be.
So that's roughly 1 in 10 of us. That's crazy. So that makes sense why people are turning to the supplementation of these powders and capsules that can help us get these fruits and veggies in like we're supposed to. But what exactly are in these supplements that everyone's talking about?
That's a great question, and I think everybody has an idea of what they think it is.
Yeah.
But really, it's just dehydrated fruits and vegetables that they take down to a small level. They'll sometimes add different fibers or herbal extracts or even seaweed into those. And then they put them in a capsule form that you can take, or in the powder form that you can put into a drink. So that's all they're doing. They're just taking fruits and vegetables that you and I may normally eat right off the grocery shelf. They freeze dry them, break them down into a powder, and then put them into capsule form.
Now, I'd imagine not all of these supplements are created equal, right? So I haven't looked into it as much as you have, of course, but I have heard that some of these, especially like greens supplements, that they are using maybe mostly of one ingredient like kale or something that's just easy to get, and they might advertise that they have all kinds or a variety of these different greens, but maybe don't have as much as you would hope.
Yeah, you certainly have to be careful because you want to make sure that you're getting everything in that product that you can. And there are certain products that you don't really know how much you're getting, but if you can figure out what the milligram level is of each ingredient, then you're going to be that much better off when you take those supplements.
Got it. So is it just as simple as you take the pill, you mix the drink mix into your water and you drink it, and all of a sudden, voila, you're getting your daily recommended amount of veggies? Is it that simple?
In some ways, yes. So you're certainly going to be getting the vitamins, you're going to be getting some of the minerals, but the truth is, if all we had to do was take a couple capsules or mix it into a little bit of water, then everybody would be doing that and we'd be one of the most healthy countries in the world. But
that's not what we're seeing.
No, we're definitely not seeing that. And what you miss when you do that is those whole foods from taking real fruits, real vegetables. You get so much more of the fiber. You get so many of the other things that come along with it, and they make you feel full and satiated. So you want to be sure to get the majority of your meals being healthy choices and getting whole fruits, whole vegetables, because we know that that long run is the best for your health. Now, these are great supplements, and remember the word supplement means in addition to help fill in those gaps. So it is not something that you're going to break out a fork and spoon and start eating your supplements as a meal,
Right.
because you still need the calories, you still need the protein, you still need all those other things that you don't get from those capsules.
Yeah, and I like how you said there's still supplements, right? For us to understand the fact that the word supplement is meaning we're adding something in addition to our current diet. So if
That's
our
right.
current diet isn't great, the supplements aren't going to do as much for us as we would if we were eating a balanced diet already.
Absolutely. But if you've got a terrible diet, then this is certainly going to be better than nothing.
Right.
And I would highly recommend adding the fruits and vegetables to kind of make sure that you're not missing anything along the way. And especially with your kids, because kids are difficult. You're trying to get them to practice, you're trying to make sure that they eat, and sometimes they don't like certain vegetables, they don't like certain fruits. So this is a way to get them a variety and still kind of push them and nudge them along as best you can to get them eating some of those whole fruits and whole vegetables.
Right. So, what are some of the specific benefits of these green supplements, of these fruit supplements? What ingredients is it that people are getting from them that they aren't getting from their diet if they're not eating enough fruits and veggies?
Well, it's like everything else. Most of us have certain fruits or vegetables that we like.
Mm-hmm.
And if we like something, we're probably going to eat more of it. And the downside to that is that we're probably missing out on some of those key nutrients we may be able to get from eating other fruits and vegetables. So in this case, let's say I don't like kale,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't like kale. If I
I don't think many people do.
Yeah.
Actually, if they say that they are, I think those people are lying.
I totally agree with you. But because kale is not necessarily one of the tastiest vegetables that you can eat, it's a great way to get it inside of a capsule or the
Mhm.
powder that you can then add it to your diet, and you're getting the nutrients that you need from that kale supplement than you would be just trying to eat a whole head of kale. So that's one thing to keep in mind. There are also people who have digestive issues like IBS or other things, that if you take this fruit and vegetable supplement, then you're able to bypass some of those IBS
Mm.
issues and some of the digestion issues, and makes it a lot easier for them to get the nutrients that they need. And then they can just have some of those foods that don't tend to send their IBS into a flare up.
Right. So while they can help, they're not just a magic solution for everyone, right? They can help with
No.
certain things, but a healthy diet is still very important.
Yep.
So who benefits the most from these supplements? I know you mentioned a few different groups. You mentioned busy parents. You
Mhm.
mentioned parents with children who may not be the biggest fan of fruits and veggies, or maybe even adults.
Mhm.
Some of us eat like kids, and some of us don't. As we saw earlier, 1 in 10 of us don't get
That's
the
right.
amount of fruits and vegetables that we're supposed to. So who are these products for?
I really think it's for everybody, because we all have gaps in our diet that we need to fill. And that's what these are intended for, is to really fill in those gaps, especially for kids as they're in that super growth stage, and their bodies are changing and they need more of these nutrients and vitamins. Then that's a great alternative for them when maybe it's harder to get those fruits and vegetables. The other thing is, it's expensive to eat with whole fruits and whole vegetables.
That's
So
right.
this is a way to really supplement when it may be more expensive for you to go out and buy all the kale and lettuce and blueberries and bananas and everything else that's thrown into those capsules. This is a great opportunity for you to maybe save some money, but still get those nutrients if you can't afford all those fresh fruits and vegetables.
That's right. I think the church said amen when you started talking about those high grocery prices
Oh
right now.
yes,
So
it's not cheap out there.
that's right. So affordable supplements can be something to help with even that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some alternatives. What are some easy ways people can get more fruits and veggies in their diet without just relying on supplements?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think we're always looking for ways to do that. And some of the simple ways are, if you're having breakfast, then just add some strawberries or blueberries to that breakfast. If you're eating a cereal, which I would suggest trying to find other things for breakfast, but if you eat cereal, then add in those fruits and vegetables to it. If you're having yogurt, if you're having um, uh, any other thing for breakfast, always look for different colored fruits or
Mm-hmm.
vegetables to add to your meals. The same goes for lunch. Add add 5 carrots to your lunch in
Mhm.
order just to get an extra vegetable into your diet. And then have as a snack an apple or bananas or something that's sweet that may even satisfy that sweet tooth a little bit and
Yeah.
allow you time kind of just to feel good about what you just ate.
It's interesting. We've mentioned it before, but when you do change your diet and you start eating healthier foods more regularly and not having the habit, not being in the habit of eating a lot of sweets,
Mm.
it feels like those sweet fruits, like a fresh apple or something like that, whatever your preferred fruit is, tastes so much sweeter and better. And then when you eat the processed foods and the processed sugars, it's not as satisfying. It's almost too sweet.
That's right.
I know many would disagree with me. I've heard some who say there's no such thing as too sweet or too rich. I disagree. Try eating some healthier foods for a little while and then test out between the fresh fruits and then the processed chocolate cake or whatever that is, and you'll notice a difference.
Totally agree. I think your taste buds change over the week or two that you are starting to eat all those healthy foods and
Mm-hmm.
you cut back on the processed foods. Huge difference in how you feel and a huge difference in your taste buds after that 2 week period.
Absolutely. So, what about specifically for parents who have kids or teens who are picky
Mm.
eaters? Do you have any specific tips for them? Is this something that you have dealt with in your experience as a parent?
Definitely have kids who are certainly super picky, but I think the big thing is get them the products that they like. So if
Mm-hmm.
they like carrots, go ahead and give them carrots, and then maybe introduce 1 or 2 other things along the way. But don't get too caught up in forcing things on them because, as you well know, when you
Yeah.
start forcing things on kids or even on us as individuals, we don't always accept it, and
That's
it
right.
may backfire, and we just decide we don't want to do it altogether. So find the things that they like already, try to add on to it, and then continue to supplement their diet with these fruit and veggie supplements and go from there.
So is the spoon airplane not the best way to force your kids to eat healthy foods? Are you saying we shouldn't do that, or the choo choo train, or all those things that my parents did to me?
I think it's great until they're about 2, but once they're 13, 14, or 15, it seems to lose a little bit of its effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you say to some parents? I say that in jest, but I have seems like heard some more things recently about people who are worried about potentially, like you said, turning their kids off from healthy foods by forcing them to eat things that they don't really want to eat. It's kind of an interesting balance because kids don't know what's best for them all the time. And it's a parent's job to help them make those good choices and start those habits that are good for them. So is there any danger in, the psychology of a kid's relationship with food if their parents are forcing them to eat fruits and veggies that they're not particularly interested in?
Yeah, and I think to your point, some of the ways that you can avoid that is you don't have the processed foods in the house.
Oh.
So if their only choice
Stepping on some
is
toes
to,
now.
yeah, if your only choice is to eat an apple or popcorn or banana or
Mhm.
something that's a little bit more healthy, then really once they get hungry, that's what they're going to eat, and then their body will adapt to it, and their taste buds will adapt to it, and they'll start enjoying it more and more. Now, either that or they'll go hungry, and I've never seen a kid when he's super hungry, if there's food in the house, not actually take a bite of what's there that's healthy.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes you just have to wait out the standoff.
You got it. You got it.
All right, so the bottom line here for our listeners, should people be taking these supplements or is it better to stick with real food?
Great question. I think you always start with the whole foods because that is the base of our diet. So if you can get everything you need from eating those whole foods of fruits and vegetables, then that's the way you want to go. But as we've already stated, our lives are so busy, it's not always feasible to do that. We may be on vacation, we may be at tournaments on the weekends with our kids. That's when supplements really come in and play a part. So you're not missing out on the needed nutrients and minerals and everything else that we get from eating those fruits and vegetables.
Solid advice. Thanks for breaking that down. So supplements can be great to help address deficiencies, but the whole foods are what we should really rely on to do the bulk of, our heavy lifting and when it comes to our diet.
Absolutely. And it's all about the balance. We don't want to go too far one way or the other. If we're eating healthy, that's where we need to stay. And then just, again, use these as truly supplements to help fill in those voids and gaps that we have in our diet.
That's all for today. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Frontline Health Podcast by Centurion, where we help you take ownership of your health and life.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Remember, go out and take ownership of your health because no one cares more about your health than you do.
For more information about supplementation, or just any type of health news or information, feel free to visit our website, centurionlabs.com. Follow us on social media, like, share, and subscribe this podcast, and we look forward to connecting with you more.